Hi, YouTube. I know it's been a minute since I made a video. I've gone through a lot last year and this year, mainly being I got shot twice. Pretty traumatic experience. I'll dive into the details. I'm going to do a little get ready with me, just with my really simple makeup routine as I update you on everything that's been going on. Yeah, so let's get ready together. So let's start with the main thing. I was shot on November 18th. I was out on my morning run, minding my own business, and I crossed paths with this guy. I'm going to go in with the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm Powder. Here we go. Can you tell it's been a while since I've done this? I crossed paths with this man that I did not know. He didn't know me, I don't think. We didn't talk, we didn't exchange words or anything really. He said to me that day as we crossed paths on the running trail that's by my house, he said, "This is going to be the last day that you see me." And I thought it was strange, but I really didn't think anything of it. I just said, okay, under my breath and kept it moving. He was going one way on the trail, I was going the other. I decided that I didn't want to do another loop. I wanted to go home. And so I turned around and was walking basically the same direction he was walking, but he was way ahead of me. I saw him ahead of me, and how the trail is set up, I'll try to put some pictures if I can. There's a little curve, but there's a bunch of bushes around the curve. And I saw him go around the curve and look behind and then step back. Go around the curve behind the bushes and step back. And he did it like 2 or 3 times. And then he came from behind the curve and the bushes and was walking towards me. He had his hood up. He was wearing a gray hood, gray sweatpants. This time he had a mask pulled up over his face, and he had his hand in his left pocket as he's like walking towards me. And I immediately knew that something was off, but I just kept walking. I didn't know if he was gonna prank me, if he was gonna pull out a knife, whatever. I did not expect a gun. But as we crossed paths, he pulled out a gun, and I screamed, and I was just like, oh my God. And I tried to run, and he shot me. He pulled the trigger and he shot me. And I just remember flying through the air and landing on the ground. I'm gonna go in with the Kulfi Beauty eyebrow gel. So as I'm laying on the ground, I am facing the pavement, looking down the sidewalk, and I can see him. He's just walking away. So he had put the gun back in his pocket and was just walking away like nothing had happened. I was in such a state of shock, I didn't actually realize like the severity of the situation and everything that had happened. And so I leaned up off the ground to look at my legs and my body to see where I had been shot and what had happened. And I knew it was pretty bad because my leg was bent like in the opposite direction and like twisted under me, and I was in a bit of pain. And so as I'm sitting up, trying to examine my body, I can see the shooter down the trail. He turns around and he sees me. So I try to lay down really quickly and play dead. And the shooter stops in his tracks, turns around, and walks towards me. And at this point, there was nothing that I could do. There was nowhere that I could go. So I just laid there and tried to play dead. And he comes up to me, takes the gun back out, and he's like pointing it in my face. And he's yelling stuff at me. He's like, "You're not dead. You're not dead. Don't pretend to be dead." And the whole time I'm just laying there, just bracing for impact, just like getting ready for him to pull the trigger and finish the job. And it was weird because as this whole thing was happening, I was like weirdly calm. I was weirdly calm. I thought that if I was ever in a situation like that, I would be freaking out, I would be crying, I would be scared, but I just remember laying there, looking up at him, and then just looking up at the sky, and just having this sense of peace and calmness come over me. And he pulled the trigger twice, and one of the bullets hit my shoulder, the other one hit the pavement. And then he just walked away. I laid there and I played dead again, and I opened my eyes and I could just see him walking away. So this time I waited until I knew that he was out of the way, and then I couldn't see him before I moved. And so at this point, I tried to stand up, because my phone, everything that I had in my hands, my phone, my water bottle, everything had flown out of my hands. But, oh my God, my brush just dropped. Sorry. Everything that I had in my hands had flown out of my hands. And luckily, he didn't take any of it. He didn't steal any of it. My phone was still there on the pavement. So I tried to stand up, but because my leg was in such bad condition, it literally like twisted. I could feel my hip bone like swing from one side, swing to another. Like I could tell it was not attached to my body. And so I fell down right away. And then I'm going in with the Rem Beauty concealer. I love this concealer. If you love a full coverage concealer that doesn't budge or move throughout the day, I love this one. I'll show you how full coverage it is. And so I tried to stand up, but because my leg just was not attached to my body, I fell down and essentially knew I couldn't walk, and so I crawled. I like army crawled with all my strength, because in my mind, I'm like, I just survived being shot twice. There's no way I'm gonna lay here and die by bleeding out. So I mustered all my strength to crawl to my phone, call 911. It took them like 19 minutes to find me on the running trail. The ambulance came, took me to the hospital. I was able to get a hold of my nephew, who called my sister and the rest of my family. And my sister was eventually able to come to the hospital to see me. But it was crazy. It was probably the most traumatic experience that I have ever experienced in my life, the scariest experience that I've experienced in my life. And there are so many details, so many things that I want to talk about, but this video would be like an hour long. But I'm so grateful for the medical staff at the hospital who took care of me. So thankful to my friends and family who rallied around me. I ended up getting shot through my butt out the front of my hip pelvis. And so my femur / hip bone was completely shattered. It wasn't even attached to my body. 40% of the bone in my leg is gone. So I have like a rod that goes from the top of my knee into my hip. I have 2 screws that then go into my hip, and then I have a screw that goes into above my knee. And then my shoulder was fractured. So there's a steel plate in my shoulder with a bunch of screws that go into my shoulder blade. And so it all happened about 12 weeks ago. So I've spent the last 12 weeks recovering. I've been doing physical therapy, regular hospital visits. I'm taking a bunch of medication, a bunch of vitamins. It has been hell. I've had to learn how to walk again, use my bones and muscles again. I still don't have full flexibility, so I can like lift my arm up, but this one only goes so far. Even when reaching, I can only reach so far. I walk with a little bit of a limp that I'm still trying to work out through physical therapy. It's been the most painful, the most horrible situation that I have ever been in, but I would not have been able to get through it without my community. My community has been so amazing. The GoFundMe that I set up was able to raise like over $30,000 in a day. I'll link that below in case anyone wants to donate. But I'm so grateful for the help in the community that I have to be able to help me through this process, because it's been the most traumatic experience of my life. I'm going to go in with the Topicals Slick Salve Balm. I just got this yesterday and I am obsessed. I love it. I like how glossy and thick it is. And I love the applicator. It just has like the perfect shape to it to contour to your lips. It's so nice. It is so nice. And then this is the Run Beauty concealer. You see how I have these dark circles under my eye? The Run Beauty concealer just covers it up seamlessly. And it lasts all day. I've worn this concealer on runs, crying, emotional breakdowns, and it does not budge. So I love the Run Beauty concealer. Not a lot of people talk about it. I think because it's in a pot, but if you're looking for a full coverage concealer that lasts all day, this is it. I mean, look at the coverage. I'll link it down below. Everything that I'm using in this video, I'll link it down below. And so that is where I've been the last 12 weeks recovering, because I was shot right by my house, and the police have not caught the guy who did it. He was a black male, probably about 5'9", 6 foot, skinny, crooked teeth. Again, this was November 18th in the morning, like around a little before 9 o'clock, like 8:45. On the Singing Hills running trail. I'll leave a map and information just in case anyone was there that morning. Maybe they heard something, maybe they saw him, can give more information to the police to help catch him, because currently right now he is still out there, which is terrifying. So I'm staying with family for the meantime because I don't feel safe staying at the house, because I literally was shot like 25 seconds away from where I live. And I still don't know if this was a targeted attack, if someone set it up, if it was just random, a coincidence. I have no idea. And I'll never know until he's caught. And so just to keep myself safe, I'm not staying where my house is until I know it's safe to go back. And so, yeah, I'm doing physical therapy twice a week and just trying to get back to some sort of normalcy through this situation. It's been very traumatic. But again, I'm very, very grateful for the community that I have around me and that is supporting me. And so because, I'm going to let this dry for a second. So because I was not able to use my arm and not able to use my leg, I haven't been able to sew. And as you know, I am a sewist. I love to sew. I run my small business, Terrence Williams Designs. I create stuff for myself. So not only have I had to deal with the reality of being shot and having to recover, but also not being able to do the functions and things that I have always done, you know, my whole life or these last few years, and the big one being sewing and running my business. And so I had to put the business on hold, had to put it on hiatus. I've slowly started to bring it back with sewing, but also in a different capacity. I definitely am excited for the ventures that are coming in the future. One of them being my merch line. So I did launch merch. I had the great opportunity to work with a fabric company to come out with my own fabric line. This is some of it behind me. So I taught myself digital illustration a couple years ago, and I've been tinkering with it, learning new things, playing with things, and I've always wanted to have my own fabric line, and I was going to do it through Spoonflower, but I didn't know about, you know, repeating patterns and getting a seamless finish like that. I was still learning that stuff. So this fabric company came along that I am an ambassador for, Minerva, and they said, you know, we love you, we love your stuff, we'd love to do a fabric collaboration. And so we came out with a 10 print fabric collection design that's supposed to be launching this year. And then with the rejected prints that they didn't choose and some new fresh prints that I added, I came out with my merch line. So there is coffee mugs. This one says, I'm just saying. That's one of my typical quotes that I say. It has stickers. I think I have my stickers over here somewhere. Another one of my quotes, it says, well, there's that. And these stickers are pretty big. They're 3x3, so they're pretty huge. And y'all know I love Brazil. So this one says, Oi, Brazil, which just means hi, Brazil in Portuguese. And so there's sweaters and sweatshirts. I've come out with this print. This isn't the exact print that's on the website. There's a similar print, but there is this one in a sweatshirt, hoodie, coffee mug, stickers. There's a bunch of stuff. I'll leave a link for everything down below. But yeah, because I'm not really able to sew as much because of my injuries, I came up with the merch line through Printful, and they're handling so much stuff. They're handling the shipping, the designing, everything. So I just come up with the patterns, the prints, the logos, the designs, add it to whichever garments, and then they print it, they ship it, and it's been such a relief. I've still been able to be creative and run my business, but I'm not stuck behind the sewing machine in pain as I recover from my injuries. And so it's been such a great experience. It's been such a win-win. And I'm really happy with the support from the collection and just how everyone has been supporting me during this time. It makes me feel really valued and cherished within this community. So thank you all so much for loving the collection. If you haven't checked it out yet, definitely make sure you check it out. Everything is genderless, it's unisex, and goes up to a size 6X. And I don't include the fat tax. So usually when people have a merch line, when it comes to the sizes that are plus size, they charge extra. I don't do that. Everyone pays the same price, so it doesn't matter if you're an extra small or you're a 6X. Everyone pays the same price, because I don't think it's fair that people who are plus size should have to pay extra. They're not a burden, and they shouldn't feel like one. And so I don't charge extra. So definitely check out the merch line and see all the new stuff that I have on the website. I'm going to go in with my NARS concealer. The other concealer that I was using is from e.l.f. It is their Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is in a lighter shade just to brighten. And then I'll go in just for a little bit more extra coverage with the NARS. Again, I'm really self-conscious about these circles under my eyes. And because I'm staying with my family, I don't have all of my makeup and supplies. So my color corrector and stuff is still at my house. And so I'm making the best with what I got. When it comes to me and makeup, I am definitely a my skin but better. So I don't like a lot of full coverage unless it's concealer. But when it comes to like foundations and other products, I don't necessarily like a lot of full coverage. And so this is perfect for me. These concealers are perfect because they're full coverage and give the finish that I like. And then I'll just have to blend out the edges, but that's the under eye. Looking good. I can't decide if I want to go in with my NARS Light Reflecting or the Lancome Tanti Doll. These are two different shades, but they somehow... the NARS used to be my shade, but now it's a little dark. And somehow the Lancome Tanti Doll, you don't think it would be my shade, but it is. We'll just do the Lancome today. Let me not lie. I used it once and it looked really good, so let's try it again. Again, I don't use a lot. 2 pumps, if that. That's probably even too much for me. I know it looks like it's not my shade, but it blends out so nicely. I don't know. Maybe I'm lying and it's not my shade. We'll see in a second. This is Tanti Doll in shade 510N. So let me know in the comments if you think this is my shade or not. I will bring it a little bit down into my facial hair area, but not much. I also think when it comes to my skin, the perimeter of my face, especially down here by my beard, is darker. And the center of my face is a lot lighter. And so I feel like technically, and then my neck is just like a completely different shade. So it's like 3 different shades that I'm working with. Technically, I think I could go darker with this, but we're here now. I don't think it's bad. I don't think the finish is bad. I like how it's a lit from within glow. That's how I like it. It's breathable. It looks hydrating. It feels hydrating. Just maybe not the best shade batch, but we're going to work with it. We are going to work with it. I'm just going to do a layer of setting spray. I'm going in with Urban Decay All Nighter. This is a holy grail. So those are basically the main updates of what is happening with my life. I'm going to go in Danessa Myricks. This is the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Lowlighter in Incognito. This gives a beautiful lit from within glow on your cheeks. It's so pretty. And then I'm going to go in with the About Face Cheek Freak in Big O. This is a blush. Very, very pigmented blush, but it's so pretty. So yeah, those are the main things that are happening in my life. I got shot. Trying to survive. Trying to figure out where I'm going to move, what I'm going to do with my life, next steps that I'm going to take. It's all been chaotic and scary, but I have the beautiful support of my friends and family, like I said before, who are really, really helping me through this process. You see how pigmented that is? I didn't even go in with much. And you see how pigmented this blush is? Good thing, though, it blends out so nicely. And when I use blush, I've learned to go in with a bigger, fluffier brush because it's easier to blend out. It just makes it a lot more seamless. I love blush though, so for me, there's never too much blush. The only thing is though, I don't like to bring it too low. So I'll just go in with my foundation brush and clean it up a little bit. Now in another brush, I'm going to go in with the Danessa Myricks highlighter. Wait till you see how pretty this is. With this, you can use a brush or your finger. But once you blend it out, it just melts into the skin like, oh. Like, look at that. Ugh. Ugh. It's gorgeous, darling. Gorgeous. Okay, we're going to clean up. See, there's kind of a harsh line. We're going to clean that up. Gives me... This is what I do every time. Just gives me another excuse to go back in with the blush. We're just gonna blend it in together so it's a little more seamless. Blush is on, highlighter is on, really pretty. Okay. Now I'm gonna go in with Huda Beauty's Uba Birthday Cake Easy Bake. This is their purple lilac setting powder. Now, they said this is not for us. They made it clear in all of the marketing and everything that this powder was not for people of my complexion or darker. But what I saw was people using it who are my complexion, and it kind of neutralized their foundation in their base, and it kind of brightened it. So I'm gonna try. I tried it the other day and I really liked it, so we're gonna try just a little bit today. I usually don't put powder under my eyes because I have very dry under eyes, but how I like to use it is I'll put it in my areas where I get really oily. So I'll put it in my T-zone, under my eyes just a little bit, just to help with the oil. So we'll do in the T-zone. If you have an issue with fragrance, you might not like this powder because it is very, very fragrant. A lot of Huda's products are. Okay, so I'll do the T-zone. You see how it kind of just like not necessarily a white cast, but it just like neutralizes the even more, because this is a neutral foundation and concealer, but it just does it even more. It kind of looks like I'm casket ready. But once we use the setting spray and melt everything together, it'll be fine. Gonna go back in with the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. Yes, I am one of those people that downs myself in setting spray. I can't help it. I'll just add a little bit of mascara. This is from Pacifica Beauty. This is their Activist Volume Mascara. And that's it. That is my quick and easy makeup base routine that I typically do on a day. And that is the updates of what has been happening in my life. Again, I'm still surviving and trying to recuperate from the shooting. My business is slowly getting back to normal. Merch is available on the website. Anything that you purchase, I'm very, very appreciative. The GoFundMe is still up. We have a goal of 50K. We're almost there. I'll leave the link to that in the description of this video. All of the products that I have used today, I will leave linked in the bottom also. If you're into skincare, makeup, beauty, sewing, definitely make sure that you follow along. I will be getting back to sewing. I'm also on Twitch now, so I do go live and stream my sewing content on Twitch. So I'll leave a link for that also in the description of the video. But I do have some really amazing, fun projects planned. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all, I'm a Bernina ambassador. So right before I was shot, I got selected to be a Bernina ambassador. And so for the next 18 months, I'll be creating content for and with Bernina. I have the Bernina 790 Pro. I love it. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful machine. If you go over to my Instagram, you could see me do an unboxing of the machine. So yeah, I'm really excited to be partnering with them and all the other partnerships that I will have coming throughout the year. But I'm really just excited to get back to sewing, get ready for sew-alongs, live sewing, crafts and projects that I'm working on throughout the year. I'm really excited to get back to making long form content and get back on here with you guys. But just want to give you a quick update, say hello, let you know what's been going on, let you know that my life is in shambles, but that I'm coming back slowly but surely. So thank you so much for sticking it out. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, but let me know what you want to see in the next video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.